Roses are red, funky cold Medina. Here at Haylett RV, a new Catalina, the 283 DDS, coming in about 6,775 pounds, which that is not a bad weight rating considering the big dual bath entry, kind of mini camp kitchen convenience station, super slide private bedroom nature of this beauty. I mean, that's especially when it's extra tall. This isn't built to be an ultralight, and I'm not saying it matches the weight of an ultralight, but it's kind of in between where you'd normally find this category and a lightweight trailer. And overall, whether it's the exterior, look, the interior look, the lighter interior, I like these. I think Catalinas are in a sharp place right now. So when you first walk in the door of this one, you can very obviously get to the bedroom, but herp-de-doo, that's a pretty common thing. I do like this handy little entry area here to hang a coat, but if you're looking, it gets a little tight right there. Now, if you folded that dining table down to ride in the sleeper position in transit, you could crawl through here and walk all over, crawl all over everything, and you could get to the rest of the camper. But I don't think that's what most people want to do. I get that sometimes you have to in some campers, but the good news is in this one, it has a second door. You don't have to do that. Because if you pop in this rear door, suddenly everything becomes far more accessible. Now, I've walked through the bathroom already, so that's very obviously accessible. You can get to the refrigerator here, absolutely no sweat. And if I can spin you around like a record baby right around, you notice that yes, you can also get to the bunks. Now, obviously, that little footage with the slide opening was speed enhanced, but I did not touch the audio. Which, did you notice how quiet the slide is? Catalina use good components, man. They are a well-built trailer. They've got the right things in the right places, and they've got good execution. It's not the game plan so much as the execution, because almost any trailer in this class and category, if you just read them on paper, they sound like they're all built the same. But there's a difference between theory and practice, and this is a factory that has some excellent practice at what they do. A couple key things here that I like about them. I like how they look and feel larger. That lighter, brighter interior, tons of lighting, which, by the way, it's all on one main cabin switch, but you do still have the ability to control your lighting independently, which is kind of cool to really control it. Handy if you're going to boondock and you want to really be careful how you're using battery consumption. But also a 6'9" ceiling versus a more common 6.5 foot in this class. Some brands are 6'9", some brands are not. It's becoming a little more common, but it's still very much worth noting, especially for people like me. Like, I can stand in the shower, and who knows, maybe we'll get in the shower together in just a minute here. Now, if we take a look, you can see how all of those big windows have shades that pull down for them, and we have upgraded this one to feature a tri-fold sleeper sofa. So in addition to the bunks, we have some very good guest sleeping capacity. But another trend is that you'll see, if we take a look, if we kind of x-ray and peel apart the dinette, you can see how there's all sorts of storage all over the place in this one, and that's something that Coachmen's in general and Catalinas are also very good at. You may also have spotted a little storage pocket kind of under that hide-a-bed sleeper sofa there. Those bunks have that open air ladder wall, which is something I like. I think Passport was one of the first to do that, and it's since been very largely adopted because it makes the whole RV look and feel larger. But note how both bunks have their own lights and their own venting airflow windows. And with this camper being a little bit taller, that means also taller bunks, not just taller shower, and taller cabinets. The TV here directly faces the sofa, and then you can pivot it out for easy dining viewing. And guys, it can pivot out much more drastically than I've done here. I did that just as a quick example. A few optional pieces of equipment, 1, 2, 3 rapid fire. First of all, electric space heating fireplace, giving us bonus heat without eating up our propane. 10.7 cubic foot 12 volt compressor fridge, but notice the black switch below the microwave. That's an on-off switch for the fridge so that you don't, accidentally parasite trickle drain your battery. And then up top, something you can't overtly see is the larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner that we'll put on pretty much all of our legacy Catalinas here at Haylett RV to maximize that cooling power. I thought I'd slide that TV out of the way real quick, just so you can kind of get the idea that, yes, it does move. Neat little thing is that they actually run some extra HDMI wiring in there, so if you want to expand your entertainment, you can. Now, here in the bathroom, just like the table, just like the kitchen, all sealed edge thermal foil countertops. And, you know, plenty of legroom in here. Direct entry bathroom from outside with a deadbolt. I always like to point that out so that people don't get all spooked by this. And as promised, I know you were waiting for it. You get to climb in the shower with the RV nerd, which, not all it's cracked up to be. Anyway, but again, with the taller ceiling, I don't have to have my head in the bubble here. I can actually just stand here and be comfortable, which is pretty darn nice, frankly. Flipping around the other direction in the bathroom, still standing in the shower right now, actually. Large vanity. I mean, that is, you want to be able to make sure you get all your toothpaste and blow dryers and all that stuff in there. You are going to be just fine doing so. Moving forward, look the other direction from the bathroom area toward the super slide. And this is where you're going to start to see the storage just go absolutely bonkers in this thing. We're going to start with the storage doors under the dinette. I know that we've already blown that apart so you can see under it, but this is probably the most common, easy way that you're going to go about that. Then over here, what would normally be an entertainment wall is now just extra storage wall. You've got upper lower kind of cabinet pantry space, and then you've got this middle shelf that I think is going to be ideal. Like, you could put a big Keurig coffee maker there. You know, I mean, that is a very handy big shelf space. All of the cabinetry in this, by the way, is pocket screwed with hardwood cabinet door frames. It's the kind of stuff that's going to hold together. Like I said, Catalina does nice things, like that sliding door for the bedroom. Now, as we start working down below those cabinets, you see the crazy space alien coat hooks right above a handy double-decker shoe garage, which is something I love, because you could sleep a ton of people in here, big, small, and otherwise, and it's nice to have their stuff not constantly cluttering everything up and in the way. Now, plywood drawers down to the floor right there. That top drawer is actually segmented so that if you have a built-in kind of utensil holder. We already talked about the refrigerator, but another thing I want to point out, since the RV is a little taller, kind of like it has bigger bunks, they have the opportunity to do bigger, a shelf in that larger overhead cabinet. Now, neat little things here. The countertop has some good prep space, and we're going to see this all flush back down in a second. But it's the little things that I really like. For instance, if you pop this kitchen shade open, normally you've got this thing hanging everywhere, and I don't want a string near a burner. So they are one of the few brands that still gives us the handy little, almost like boat mooring anchor spot right here. And that's just classic Coachmen, classic Catalina, classy little touches making big differences. Pop-up power tower, giving us easy reach household and USB plugs when we want them. Those sink covers, I did want to pull one off so you could see that farm sink below that high-rise sprayer faucet. And if you do pull one of this off, take a look at this. Our stovetop itself can kind of double as a backsplash, and then one of those sink covers makes a very handy, easy cleaning, removable side splash. And I realize, as I'm looking at this right now, that there's more storage here over by the entertainment center that I've missed. Sorry about that. It's, like I said, Coachmen's and Catalinas are very good at storage. I'm not used to the trailers having like quite this many different nooks and crannies and pockets and everything, despite all my years of experience of going through these. There's just a ton of storage in this thing. Also, with these drawers out of the way, you can see that there's a nice big pocket under that countertop. Perfect for a wastebasket here, but you don't have to like crawl into it. There is an access door on the other side. We'll see that in just a second. But first, I want you to get a good look at all the prep space now that I've got the sink covers and the stovetop back in the down position. And like I said, a door there so you can easily get, like, you got bigger pots and pans, you need a spot to put those, you got a spot to put those. Remember, we got that sliding privacy door. Now, the bedroom here, it's just the facts, ma'am, you know. It does what it needs to. I do like that there's household and USB plugs on both sides of the bed. And frankly, that little accent wall is a nice touch. But you've got mirrored hanging closets. You got a full cabinet above the bed, not just a shelf, so you can actually pack it. You don't just throw stuff on it when you get there. But then again, kind of like the USB plugs on both sides of the bed, a wall-mounted switch to get to the lights above the bed, so you don't have to climb on the bed. Whereas these lights right here, well, you're laying in bed. You can just reach up and click those, but These, with a taller ceiling, if you're not quite as tall as me, they could be a little harder to get to, so Catalina makes that easier. TV hookups on the bed, and one more thing, speaking of the bed, if we take a look, you see how you can lift that bed up to get to the storage below it. And you'll notice as well, it is completely separate from the pass-through compartment, so you can make sure outside stuff stays outside, inside stuff stays inside. For instance, you don't want your sewer hose mingling with your Christmas sweater. Below that master bed, we have a large, full pass-through, so you can get to cargo from either side with a big access door on either side. Pet leash link right there to keep the four-legged furry friends under control and nearby. You can see we've upgraded to the stable step system right there, which takes a ton of that herky-jerkiness out of the trailer as people come and go through that front door, which is probably going to be your primary point of entry. Power awning with lighting, and it also has an awning power channel on it that comes with some handy little accessories like little outside Bluetooth speakers, outside lighting, all kinds of fun little things to sort of personalize and enhance your camping experience. Power tongue jack up front does the heavy lifting for you. That's a pretty common thing though, so we're not going to belabor that point too much. I do want to point out though that this does have those nice tinted windows. That's something you only get about 50% of the time in this class of trailer. Some brands have it, some brands don't. Keeps the nosy neighbors out, also keeps the sunshine out. A couple things I want to point out here before we jump to the back of the trailer. I want to look at the slide, specifically the side of it, and not just that tinted window, but the rough textured wall that they have here, because it's what grabs these seals, and you can see there's double wiper seals, plus inside and outside we have that handy little bulb seal right there, so you've always got 3 points of seal contact going on. That's something you, again, don't always find in this class and category. And down here, the Legacy Series is going to have a standard enclosed underbelly for that extra peace of mind and protection. Good for more than just cold camp protection. Frankly, this does help improve your AC efficiency a little bit because it makes it harder for the cold air to bleed out of the floor of the RV, and it also protects you from critters and debris. I would say in transit, the way I phrase that, it sounds like you're going to run over a raccoon in transit, which, I don't know. I guess it's possible. God, I hope you don't. On the other side of the slide, we can see those dual bunk windows. It's nice that those both open for airflow. And there's the little Catalina things, like their outside shower here. It actually has a handy little, like, upper mount point, so you can actually use it for a camp shower. Isn't that convenient? Lower bunk has some storage below it where things like the outside shower are not occupying space, or the water heater that you see on the back here next to the black tank flush. We have plywood floor decking, 5/8 tongue and groove with 12-inch on center floor studs. Everything else, the walls, the roof, pretty industry common 16-inch on center studs with a 3/8 fully walkable roof right above that backup camera prep there. The spare tire, actually optional. That's something that we're going to apply to these every single time we possibly can, however. I hope you never need them. Sort of like cough syrup. I hope you don't need it, but it is good to have it if you do need it. Our direct entry bathroom door on the back here kind of spooks some first-time campers, but remember, it has a deadbolt. So, you know, if you're in here doing your business, you don't have to worry about somebody walking in on you, because you can deadbolt. This is the same entry door that we have on the front door. Notice too the big power awning they put on this, how it doesn't just clear that bath door. If you follow it down the trailer, it also clears that front entry door, so you have dual coverage. Now here, behind the entertainment center, they did something really smart. A lot of brands in this position have some form of mini camp kitchen, but I like what Catalina's done. It's almost like a little convenience station. I like the outside prep space, this little prep shelf that pops open. Same sealed edge material as you see inside, more of it just inside there. Handy little convenience center where you can plug in some appliances or a phone charger. Little barley pop opener right there. And a larger outside fridge. That, in conjunction with the 10.7 cubic foot fridge inside, gives this thing like 13 or 14 total cubic foot of cold storage. Now, I mentioned on the awning how they had a little power channel. There's a second one here, but at the time of this filming, it is something of an experimental feature. Not that they don't know that it works. They know that it works. They know that the different accessories that you can apply to one of these, they know that those work. They've been putting them on their awnings for a while. When I say experimental, they're trying to see, is it something people want there? So we, Haylett RV and Coachmen Catalina, need your feedback. Do you like the idea of being able to attach things like lights, fans, Bluetooth speakers to those awning and now Camp Kitchen Convenience Center power channels. If you do, please let us know. Leave us a comment so we can feed that information back to Coachmen. And if you don't, let us know that too. You know, we're always looking for input. There's also outside TV hookups there. And another thing I like to point out on these, if you look at that fender trim, you see how it's nice and shiny. One, it looks good. Two, it's going to stay that way because it's aluminum. It's not plastic. It's not going to sun fade. It won't get brittle. It won't shred from wind buffeting. And that is probably one of the best examples of just the thought and the logic that goes into these Catalina RVs. So if you like what you see, give us a call. Long story short, doesn't matter where you live. All we ask for is the fair opportunity to earn your business in return for our efforts. And always remember, we don't do dealer fees. We don't do that slimy hidden stuff at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.